The morning sun cast gentle light through the tall windows of the Galactic Council chamber, as Ambassador Jinsu Nam arranged his tea service with careful precision. Steam rose from the delicate cups carrying the sweet scent of Earth's finest jasmine blend. Around the circular table, representatives from dozens of worlds waited patiently for their daily cup. It had become a beloved tradition over the past 30 years. "Good morning, friends," Jinsu said with his warm smile. The same one that had charmed the galaxy since Earth first joined the Council. "I brought honey cakes today, my grandmother's recipe." The alien delegates eagerly accepted their treats. Councillor Threxeval, whose crystalline form sparkled in the sunlight, made delighted clicking sounds as he tasted the sweet pastry. "Humans always know how to make everything better," he said in his musical voice. Jinsu's smile grew wider. If only they knew, he thought to himself. Across the galaxy, Captain Haiwan Seo stood on the bridge of her merchant vessel, the Gentle Breeze. Through the view screen, she watched dock workers carefully load supplies onto her ship. Medical equipment, farming tools, educational materials, and food supplies filled the cargo holds. The manifest listed her destination as the Outer Rim colonies, where several worlds were struggling with crop failures. "Another charity-run captain?" asked Navigator Do-Hyun Lee as he checked their flight path. His friendly face showed genuine concern for the suffering colonists. "The Corellian farmers are having a hard time," Haiwan replied, adjusting her simple work clothes. "Their soil won't grow anything after that asteroid strike. We're bringing them everything they need to start fresh." "Including those new seed packets from Earth?" asked cargo specialist Mi Young Park, consulting her datapad. Her coveralls were stained with honest work, and her hands showed the calluses of someone who loaded cargo by hand when the machines broke down. "Of course, Earth's agricultural science is the best in the galaxy," Haiwan said. She didn't mention that those particular seeds contained genetic modifications that would make the resulting plants highly resistant to most known toxins, just in case the Corellians ever needed plants that could survive in a war zone. In the Council Medical Center, Dr. Yoonji Choi finished her morning rounds with her usual gentle care. Her patients came from dozens of different worlds, each requiring different medical approaches. She had spent years learning how each alien body worked, studying their biology with the dedication of someone who truly wanted to help heal the galaxy. "Doctor, the Zentari child is responding well to treatment," reported her assistant, a young Altarian whose blue skin shimmered with health. "Wonderful news," Yoonji replied, checking the patient's chart. The child had been poisoned by contaminated water on his home world. Finding the antidote had required deep knowledge of Zentari metabolism, knowledge that Unji had gained through careful study of their physiology, the same knowledge that would let her create much more dangerous compounds if the need ever arose. Cultural attaché Sang-Ho Kim stood before a group of young alien students in the Council's Education Center. Behind him, a holographic display showed images of Earth's history. Beautiful gardens, peaceful cities, smiling families working together in harmony. "As you can see," Sang-Ho explained to his eager audience, "humans learned long ago that cooperation brings better results than conflict. We had some difficult periods in our past, but we grew beyond them through wisdom and understanding." The students nodded, absorbing every word. They had no idea that the difficult periods Sang-Ho mentioned included wars that had reshaped continents and weapons that could crack planets in half. The real history files were locked away in Earth's deepest archives, far from curious alien eyes. One student, a young Vegan with large, innocent eyes, raised her hand. "Teacher Sang-Ho, why are humans so good at solving problems peacefully?" Sang-Ho's smile was genuine and warm. "Because we learned that fighting only brings sadness. It's much better to share tea and talk about our troubles." In the shipping lanes near the Rigel system, Communications Officer Tae-Jin Yu monitored routine traffic aboard another human merchant vessel. His instruments showed the usual mix of cargo haulers, passenger ships, and patrol craft moving through the busy trade routes. Everything appeared completely normal, but hidden beneath the normal communication channels, encoded messages flowed between human ships scattered across the galaxy. Supply reports, personnel updates, intelligence briefings, information that painted a very different picture of human activities than what appeared in official records. Tae-Jin acknowledged a message from a farming ship near the Centauri system. According to public records, the vessel was delivering agricultural equipment to terraforming colonies. The coded message revealed that its cargo holds actually contained enough firepower to level a small moon, disguised as irrigation systems and fertilizer dispensers. Meanwhile, at a meditation retreat on the peaceful world of SciFiPrime, Commander Wu Jin Han led a group of stressed alien executives through breathing exercises. His calm voice guided them through techniques for finding inner peace and releasing tension from their daily lives. Feel the stress leaving your body, Wu Jin instructed, his own posture perfectly relaxed. Let your mind become clear and focused. The executives, mostly high-ranking officials from various governments, followed his guidance gratefully. None of them suspected that their meditation instructor was actually one of Earth's most dangerous special operations commanders, or that his mindfulness techniques were adapted from military mental conditioning programs designed to help soldiers maintain clarity during combat. Back in the council chamber, the morning session began with its usual discussions of trade disputes and territorial agreements. Jinsu listened patiently as various delegates presented their concerns, offering helpful suggestions and gentle wisdom whenever appropriate. The hegemony of Vrax is expanding their influence again, reported Councillor Vexthan, his reptilian features showing worry. They're pressuring the Zilani Confederacy to give up mining rights in the neutral zone. How concerning, Jinsu replied, pouring fresh tea for the worried delegate. Perhaps Earth could offer mediation services. We've had good success helping neighbors work out their differences. The other council members nodded approvingly. Human mediation had solved dozens of conflicts over the years, always with peaceful results that left everyone satisfied. Earth's reputation as the galaxy's peacemaker was well-earned and deeply respected. What they didn't know was that every mediation success had been carefully orchestrated using detailed intelligence about all parties involved. Human diplomats knew exactly which pressure points to use, which compromises would be acceptable, and which alternatives to suggest. They achieved peace through superior information and precise manipulation, not through naive optimism. As the session continued, Jinsu maintained his gentle demeanor while mentally cataloging every piece of information shared. Ship movements, military deployments, economic concerns, political tensions, all of it would be carefully analyzed and filed away in Earth's vast intelligence networks. The galaxy saw humans as their kindest neighbors, always ready with a helping hand and a warm smile. They were the mediators, the healers, the generous friends who asked for nothing in return. Earth's children were scattered across the stars, tending gardens and teaching children and building hospitals. But beneath the surface, something else entirely was watching and waiting. The gentle gardeners had very sharp tools and they knew exactly how to use them. They just preferred planting flowers to harvesting lives. For now. The emergency alert reached the Galactic Council at 0800 Standard Time. Red warning lights flashed throughout the chamber as delegates hurried to their seats, their morning routines forgotten. Ambassador Jin Sunam calmly finished serving tea to those who wanted it, his steady hands showing no sign of the tension that filled the room. The hegemony of Vrax has issued an ultimatum to the Zilani Confederacy, announced Council Chair Vexthan, his voice tight with worry. They demand complete surrender of all Zilani worlds within 72 hours or face total extermination. Shocked gasps echoed through the chamber. The Zilani were among the galaxy's most peaceful species, known for their beautiful crystal cities and harmless nature. They had no military to speak of, trusting in the Council's protection and their own remote location to keep them safe. "This is outrageous," declared Councillor Threxville, his crystalline form flickering with agitation. The Vrax cannot simply declare war on a peaceful people. The Council must act immediately. Jinsu set down his teapot with careful precision. Earth stands ready to provide humanitarian assistance to any Zilani refugees. We can prepare medical facilities and temporary housing on our colony worlds. We need more than refugee camps, growled Councillor Breltox, the military representative. We need to stop this invasion before it starts. Perhaps sanctions? Suggested another delegate. Economic pressure has worked before. The Vrax don't care about trade, Breltox replied. They want the Zilani's dilithium mines. They'll take what they want by force. In the debate that followed, Earth's representative remained quietly supportive of peaceful solutions. Jinsu offered to coordinate relief efforts and suggested that perhaps the Vrax might be open to negotiation if approached correctly. His calm voice and reasonable suggestions helped keep the discussion from becoming a shouting match. But underneath the table, his fingers moved in quick, precise patterns across his personal communicator. To any observer, it looked like nervous fidgeting. In reality, he was sending coded instructions to human agents across the galaxy. 1,200 light-years away, Captain Heywan Seo received the priority message while her ship was refueling at Station Harmony. The Gentle Breeze had just completed another successful aid mission to the drought-stricken world of New Ceres, delivering water purification systems that would save thousands of lives. Change of plans, Heywan announced to her crew. We're needed elsewhere. Navigator Do-Hyun Lee checked his star charts. The Zilani system? That's quite a detour from our scheduled route to the Corellian colonies. The Corellians can wait a few days, Heywan replied, watching new cargo containers being loaded onto her ship. The shipping manifest still listed agricultural supplies and medical equipment, but the container codes told a different story to those who knew how to read them. Cargo specialist Mi-Young Park supervised the loading with her usual cheerful efficiency. To station observers, she appeared to be handling the same kind of humanitarian supplies that human ships always carried. But her trained eye caught the subtle differences. These containers were heavier than they should be, with power couplings that had nothing to do with farming equipment. Medical supplies for the Zilani? Asked a curious dock worker, noting the large number of containers marked with medical symbols. Just being prepared, Mi-Young replied with a sunny smile. Humans always pack extra bandages. We worry too much about people getting hurt. The dock worker laughed and moved on, never suspecting that those medical supplies included enough concentrated toxins to sterilize a continent, carefully disguised as emergency medications. In the ship's communication center, Tae-Jin Yu established contact with other human vessels throughout the sector. Officially, he was coordinating humanitarian efforts and refugee evacuation plans. The messages he sent spoke of medical stations, temporary shelters, and food distribution centers, but hidden within those innocent communications were deployment orders for humanity's shadow fleet. Merchant ships that had spent years building reputations as harmless traders began altering their courses towards Zilani space. Agricultural vessels loaded with fertilizer changed their shipping manifests. Research ships studying stellar phenomena updated their flight plans. Dr. Yoonji Choi worked late into the night in her medical laboratory, supposedly preparing treatments for potential Zilani refugees. Her research into alien biology had always impressed the Council, and they trusted her to handle any medical crisis that might arise. She pulled up detailed files on Vrak's physiology, information gathered during decades of cultural exchanges and medical cooperation programs. The data was remarkably complete, covering everything from basic anatomy to specific genetic markers. It would help her treat any injured Vrax prisoners, she told herself. It would also help her create biological weapons that would target their species specifically, leaving other aliens unharmed. Doctor, the synthesis is complete, reported her assistant, indicating several vials of clear liquid. This should counteract most known Vrax combat drugs. Excellent work, Yoonji replied, carefully storing the compounds. She didn't mention that the same knowledge used to create antidotes could easily be reversed to create much more dangerous substances. Her medical oath required her to preserve life, but it didn't prevent her from being prepared to end it if necessary. Cultural attaché Sang-Ho Kim spent his evening in the Council archives, officially researching historical precedents for the current crisis. His access to information was extensive, trusted by archivists who saw him as a harmless academic interested in promoting peace through understanding, but Sang-Ho's real purpose was updating Earth's intelligence. Files on Vrak's military capabilities, troop movements, ship classifications, weapon specifications, command structures. Information that had been gathered piece by piece over 30 years of careful observation, hidden within cultural exchange programs and academic research projects. At the meditation retreat on Serena Prime, Commander Wu Jin Han received his own coded instructions, while leading a late-night relaxation session for stressed alien executives. His calm guidance in breathing techniques and mental clarity exercises helped his students achieve the peace they desperately needed. Feel your worries drift away, he instructed in his soothing voice, while silently reading the tactical briefing displayed on his meditation crystal. Let your mind become still and focused. The briefing detailed Vrak's fleet positions, probable attack vectors, and estimated timetables for the invasion. It also included activation codes for sleeper agents who had been living peaceful lives as farmers, teachers, and shopkeepers throughout Vrak space. As his students achieved deeper states of relaxation, Wu Jin mentally reviewed assault plans that had been developed years ago, just in case they were ever needed. His meditation center was actually a command post, and his students were unknowingly providing cover for one of Earth's most critical intelligence operations. Back in the council chamber, the emergency session continued late into the night. Delegates argued about sanctions, diplomatic protests, and economic pressure. Some suggested mobilizing the council's peacekeeping forces, though everyone knew they were no match for the Vrak's military machine. "We must try negotiation first," Jinsu insisted, his voice calm and reasonable even after hours of debate. "Perhaps if we approach them with the right offer, we can find a peaceful solution." "The Vraks don't negotiate," Councillor Breltox replied grimly. "They take what they want and destroy anyone who resists. The Zilani don't stand a chance. Then we must make sure the refugees have somewhere safe to go," Jinsu said, pouring fresh tea despite the late hour. "Earth will open its doors to any who need shelter." The other delegates nodded approvingly. Even in this crisis, humans showed their characteristic compassion and willingness to help. Earth's reputation as the galaxy's most reliable ally continued to grow stronger. But as the session finally ended and delegates returned to their quarters, Jinsu remained behind to clean up his tea service. In the empty chamber, his gentle mask slipped just slightly. His movements became more precise, more controlled. His eyes, when no one was watching, showed the cold calculation of a predator preparing for the hunt. The galaxy still saw Earth as its gentle guardian, always ready with medical aid and peaceful solutions. But underneath that carefully maintained facade, humanity's true nature was stirring. The shepherds were about to remember that they had once been wolves, and the Vraks were about to learn why apex predators sometimes choose to tend sheep instead of hunting them. It wasn't because they had forgotten how to kill. It was because they had become so good at it that they preferred to do other things. That preference was about to change. The Vraks invasion fleet arrived at SciFiPrime exactly on schedule, their massive warships dropping out of hyperspace like dark thunderclouds against the starfield. Admiral Krex stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Dominator, watching the peaceful crystal cities glittering on the planet below. The Zilani had no orbital defenses, no military installations, nothing but their beautiful cities and their worthless faith in Council protection. "Scan for military targets," Krex ordered his tactical officer. "None detected, Admiral. The planet shows only civilian settlements and mining operations." "Perfect. Begin bombardment of their major cities. Leave the mining facilities intact." But before the Vraks could fire their first shot, another voice crackled over the communication system. It was calm, friendly, and completely unexpected. "Vraks fleet, this is Captain Haywan Seo of the merchant vessel Gentle Breeze. We're currently providing humanitarian assistance to the Zilani population. Perhaps we could discuss this situation like civilized beings." Admiral Krex turned to his communications officer with a confused expression. "A human merchant ship here?" On the tactical display, several small contacts appeared near the planet. They registered as typical human vessels: cargo haulers, medical ships, agricultural transports. Nothing that could possibly threaten a Vrak's battle fleet. "Ignore them," Krex decided. "Humans are harmless. Begin the attack." "Actually, Admiral," Haywan's voice continued with the same pleasant tone, "I'm afraid we can't allow that. The Zilani are under Earth's protection now. You have 30 minutes to withdraw your forces and return to Vrak space." The bridge of the Dominator erupted in laughter. Human protection? The galaxy's most famously peaceful species threatening the Vrak's military? It was absurd. "Little human," Admiral Krex replied with amusement. "Your merchant ships carry farming equipment and medical supplies. We carry planet-cracking weapons. I suggest you run home before you get hurt." "Oh dear," Haywan said, and her voice carried what sounded like genuine sadness. "I was really hoping you'd choose the peaceful option. Navigator Do Hyun, please inform Earth Command that the Vraks have declined our generous offer." "Message sent, Captain," came another human voice over the channel. "Earth Command responds, Protocol 7 is authorized. All safety restrictions are lifted." Admiral Krex was still chuckling when the first human ship shed its disguise. The agricultural transport, peaceful harvest, split open like a flower, revealing weapon systems that defied several laws of physics. Energy readings spiked beyond the Vrak's sensor's ability to measure. What had appeared to be a simple cargo hauler was actually something else entirely. "What in the seven hells is that?" Krex demanded. His tactical officer's voice shook as he read the impossible sensor data. "Admiral, that ship's power output just increased by a factor of 10,000. No, wait, 20,000. The readings don't make sense." Across the Vrak's formation, similar transformations were taking place. Medical ships revealed themselves as weapons platforms. Agricultural vessels deployed devices that made space itself seem to bend and twist. The humble merchant fleet was becoming something from a nightmare. "All ships, open fire," Admiral Krex ordered. "Destroy those human vessels immediately." The Vrak's fleet unleashed enough firepower to level a continent. Plasma beams, missile swarms, and particle cannons lit up space with destructive energy. When the weapons fire cleared, Admiral Krex expected to see debris and wreckage. Instead, the human ships were completely unharmed. Shimmering barriers of energy surrounded each vessel, deflecting the Vrak's attack as if it were nothing more than a light rain. "Interesting technology," Heywan commented over the communication channel. "Duhyun, what's our shield status?" "Barely noticed the impact, Captain. Their weapons are quite primitive. Mi-young, are our own systems ready? All weapons charged and targeting solutions locked in, Captain." "Just say the word." Admiral Krex felt the first cold touch of fear as he realized that the humans had been studying Vrak's technology for decades, learning every weakness and limitation. While the Vraks had dismissed human merchants as harmless traders, those traders had been gathering intelligence and preparing for exactly this moment. "Target their command ship first," Heywan ordered. "Minimum force, please. I don't want to be unnecessarily cruel." The gentle breeze fired a single beam of coherent energy that lasted exactly 2 seconds. The beam passed through the Dominator's shields as if they didn't exist, severed the ship's main weapon systems with surgical precision, and left the bridge intact but completely powerless. "That was minimum force?" Admiral Krex whispered as his ship went dark around him. "Oh yes," Heywan replied cheerfully. "Maximum force would have removed your entire fleet from this dimension. We humans prefer to give people chances to surrender." The rest of the Vrak's fleet tried to respond, but they were facing technology that was centuries beyond their understanding. Human weapons didn't just destroy ships. They selectively eliminated specific systems while leaving life support intact. Vrak's vessels found their engines disabled, their weapons offline, their communications jammed, but their crews alive and unharmed. Commander Wu Jin Han emerged from what the Vraks had thought was a medical facility on one of the human ships. His peaceful meditation robes were gone, replaced by armor that seemed to absorb light itself. When he spoke, his voice carried the calm authority of someone who had ended wars before breakfast. "Vrak's fleet, you are now prisoners of the Earth Defense Forces. Prepare to be boarded. Any resistance will be met with immediate and overwhelming force." Boarding pods launched from the human vessels, cutting through Vrak's hulls like they were made of paper. The soldiers who emerged wore the same light-absorbing armor as their commander, and they moved with the precise efficiency of people who had turned warfare into an art form. Dr. Yunji, Choi's voice joined the communication channel as Vrak's crew members began succumbing to a strange paralysis. "Don't worry, Admiral Krex. The gas we're using is completely non-lethal. You'll wake up in a few hours with nothing worse than a mild headache." "Gas? When did you gas us?" Krex managed to ask before his vision started to fade. "We've been pumping it through your life support systems for the past 15 minutes. Yunji replied in the same gentle tone she used with her patients. "Human medical knowledge is quite advanced. We know exactly how every alien species' biology works." As Admiral Krex lost consciousness, he heard Heywan speaking to someone else. "Taejin, please send a message to the Vrak's High Command. Inform them that their invasion fleet has been neutralized and their personnel are being held for their own safety. Tell them Earth is willing to discuss terms for their release. Should I mention our other capabilities, Captain?" "Oh no, that won't be necessary. I think they'll understand the situation soon enough." In 18 minutes, the entire Vrak's invasion force had been neutralized without a single death. The galaxy's most aggressive military power had been defeated by merchants and doctors who turned out to be something else entirely. The Zilani watched from their crystal cities in stunned amazement as human ships took control of the battlefield with casual efficiency. Their gentle protectors had transformed into beings of terrifying capability. wielding technologies that seemed like magic to less advanced species. But when Haywan contacted the Zilani government, her voice was as warm and friendly as ever. "Hello, friends. Sorry about the commotion in your orbit. We've taken care of the uninvited guests. Would you like us to help clean up the debris before we leave?" The Zilani Council stammered their thanks, still trying to process what they had witnessed. These were the same humans who had brought them agricultural assistance and medical supplies. The same gentle beings who preferred tea ceremonies to conflict resolution. "Captain," Do-hyun reported from his station, "Earth Command is asking for a status report." "Tell them the children are safe," Haywan replied, "and inform Ambassador Jinsu that he can continue serving tea at the council meeting tomorrow. I don't think anyone will be questioning Earth's commitment to peace for quite some time." As the human fleet secured the captured Vrax vessels, preparing to escort them out of Zilani space, the galaxy began to realize that everything they thought they knew about humanity was wrong. The gentle gardeners had revealed their true nature, and it was absolutely terrifying. The emergency council session convened in chaos. Reports flooded in from across the galaxy as the news of the Vrax defeat spread like wildfire. The most powerful military force in known space had been effortlessly destroyed by human merchants in less than 20 minutes. Delegates spoke in hushed, frightened whispers as they took their seats around the familiar circular table. Ambassador Jinsu Nam entered the chamber carrying his usual tea service, moving with the same calm precision that had charmed the galaxy for 30 years. But today every alien eye watched his hands with new understanding. Those gentle fingers that served tea with such care had just coordinated the most devastating military operation in galactic history. "Good morning, friends," Jinsu said, with his characteristic warm smile. "I brought green tea today. It's particularly soothing during stressful times." The silence that followed was deafening. Several delegates actually flinched when he reached for the teapot. Council Chair Vexthan finally found his voice, though it trembled slightly. "Ambassador Nam, perhaps you could explain what happened in the Zilani system." Jinsu poured himself a cup of tea with steady hands. "The Vrax attempted to invade a peaceful world. Earth intervened to protect innocent lives. The crisis has been resolved without any loss of life." "Without any loss of life?" Councillor Threxaval's crystalline form flickered with agitation. "You destroyed an entire battle fleet." "We disabled their ships and captured their crews," Jinsu corrected gently. "No one was harmed. The Vrax personnel are being well treated and will be returned to their government once proper arrangements are made." "But your weapons," stammered another delegate. "Your technology. We've never seen anything like it." Jinsu sipped his tea thoughtfully. "Earth has always been technologically advanced. We've shared many innovations with the galactic community over the years. You've been lying to us for 3 decades. Councillor Breltox growled, his military bearing doing nothing to hide his fear. "Your peaceful merchant ships are actually warships. Your cultural attachés are spies. Your medical researchers are weapons designers." The ambassador set down his cup with a soft clink. For the first time in 30 years, his diplomatic mask began to slip. When he spoke again, his voice carried a different quality, still calm but with an undertone of steel that made several delegates unconsciously lean away from him. "We never lied," Jinsu said quietly. "We told you we were peaceful. We never said we were helpless." The main display screen activated, showing a holographic figure that many delegates recognized as Dr. Eunji Choi. But instead of her usual medical robes, she wore the uniform of Earth's intelligence service. Her gentle healer's demeanor was gone, replaced by the cool professionalism of someone who understood death as intimately as life. "Honorable council members," she began, "perhaps it's time you learned the truth about human nature." The holographic display shifted to show images of Earth's real history, not the sanitized version that cultural attaché Sung-Ho Kim had shared in his educational programs, but the complete record of humanity's development. Wars that had reshaped continents, weapons that could crack moons, technologies that bent the laws of physics to their will. Humans didn't evolve past violence, Dr. Eunji explained, as the images showed the devastating beauty of human warfare. We perfected it. We became so efficient at destruction that we nearly destroyed ourselves. Our peaceful reformation wasn't about abandoning violence. It was about learning to control it. Another figure appeared on the display. Commander Woo Jin Han, no longer disguised as a meditation instructor. His armor made him look like death incarnate, and his eyes held the cold competence of someone who had ended civilizations before lunch. For the past 30 years, he said, Earth has been conducting the largest intelligence operation in galactic history. Every human you've met has been gathering information. Every cultural exchange, every trade mission, every humanitarian effort has been collecting data about your worlds, your governments, your military capabilities. The display showed star charts marked with human positions throughout the galaxy, not just the official colonies and trade routes, but secret installations, hidden bases, and sleeper agents embedded in every major civilization. Earth's influence stretched into every corner of known space. We know the location of every military installation in the galaxy, Wu Jin continued. We've mapped your supply lines, analyzed your command structures, and identified the psychological profiles of your leaders. We could disable any civilization in the galaxy without firing a shot. Counselor Vexton's voice was barely a whisper. Why gather all this information if you truly wanted peace? Jinsu answered without looking up from his tea. Because peace requires preparation. The galaxy is full of predators like the Vraks. Someone has to be ready to stop them. Xeno-archaeologist Yujin Song appeared on the display next. Her academic robes replaced by the severe uniform of Earth's Historical Archives Division. Behind her, rows of data storage units stretched into the distance containing humanity's true records. Human civilization spans over 50,000 years, she said. We fought wars with weapons you can't imagine and survived conflicts that would have destroyed lesser species. We learned to weaponize concepts that other civilizations haven't even discovered yet. The display showed technical specifications for human weapons, devices that manipulated gravity, artillery that fired through parallel dimensions, defensive systems that existed in 11 different realities simultaneously. The mathematical concepts alone were beyond most alien understanding. Your most advanced warships are powered by fusion reactors, Yujin continued. Ours draw energy directly from collapsing stars. Your weapons fire plasma and particle beams. Ours rewrite the fundamental constants of physics in localized areas. Fleet Admiral Kyung-Soo Lim appeared next, his presence somehow filling the chamber despite being only a hologram. When he spoke, his voice carried the authority of someone who commanded forces that could reshape galaxies. Earth maintains a military force that could control the entire galaxy within a standard month, he said without emotion. We choose not to because conquest is inefficient. It's much easier to maintain peace through the threat of overwhelming force than to actually use that force. The assembled delegates sat in stunned silence as the scope of human deception became clear. Their beloved tea-serving ambassador was actually the galaxy's most skilled manipulator. Their gentle doctors were weapons experts. Their humble farmers were intelligence operatives. But why hide all this? Counselor Threxval finally asked. Why pretend to be something you're not? Jinsu looked up from his tea and for the first time, the council saw his true nature. Behind the warm smile and gentle demeanor was something ancient and predatory. Not evil, but absolutely terrifying in its competence. Because, he said softly, it's easier to rule through love than fear. When people trust you, they tell you their secrets. When they see you as harmless, they don't prepare defenses against you. When they believe you're weak, they don't unite against you. Intelligence Coordinator Seungmin Kang appeared on the display, surrounded by data streams that showed the flow of information throughout the galaxy. Every communication, every transmission, every secret message passed through networks that humanity had quietly infiltrated decades ago. We've been reading your mail for 30 years, he said with casual brutality. Every government secret, every military plan, every private conversation between leaders. Earth knows everything that happens in the galaxy before your own intelligence services do. The revelation broke something in the assembled delegates. The friendly humans they had trusted completely had been manipulating them from the very beginning. Every gesture of kindness, every offer of help, every peaceful solution had been calculated to further Earth's strategic position. So what happens now? Counselor Breltox asked, his warrior's pride struggling with the reality of complete defeat. Do you conquer us? Make us your slaves? Jinsu's expression softened, returning to the gentle ambassador they thought they knew. Nothing changes. Earth will continue to provide humanitarian aid, medical assistance, and peaceful mediation. We'll keep serving tea at council meetings and helping settle disputes between neighbors. But now you know the truth. Dr. Yunji added from the display. The gentle healers who tend your wounds are the same people who could design plagues that target your specific genetics. The farmers who feed your colonies could poison your entire food supply. The teachers who educate your children could reprogram their minds. We choose not to, Jinsu concluded, pouring fresh tea for anyone brave enough to accept it. We choose to be gardeners instead of wolves, but never forget that the choice is ours to make. The council chamber remained silent except for the soft sound of tea being poured. The galaxy had learned that their protectors were actually their potential destroyers, held in check only by their own moral restraint. It was the most terrifying and comforting realization in galactic history. 6 months after the Vrax incident, the galaxy had settled into its new reality. The morning sun cast the same gentle light through the council chamber windows as Ambassador Jinsu Nam prepared his daily tea service. The ritual remained unchanged, but everything else was different. Delegates still accepted their cups with gratitude, but now they watched Jinsu's precise movements with proper respect. They understood that those careful hands could serve tea or coordinate planetary destruction with equal skill. The honey cakes still tasted just as sweet, but everyone knew that the gentle baker could create much more dangerous recipes if necessary. "Good morning, friends," Jinsu said with his familiar warm smile. "I brought jasmine tea today. It pairs wonderfully with the morning reports." The morning reports told a story of unprecedented galactic peace. Piracy had dropped to nearly zero after several criminal fleets made the mistake of attacking human merchant vessels. The pirates had been captured alive, but their ships had been completely disintegrated as object lessons for others considering similar careers. Aggressive expansion by military powers had stopped completely. The hegemony of Vrax had become remarkably peaceful neighbors after their invasion fleet was returned to them, with detailed technical analyses of every flaw in their weapons and tactics. Other warlike species suddenly discovered the benefits of diplomatic solutions when humans offered to mediate their conflicts. Trade flowed smoothly along routes protected by human merchant ships that nobody dared to threaten. Colonies prospered under the gentle guidance of human agricultural experts who happened to carry enough firepower to level small moons. Research stations advanced galactic knowledge with the help of human scientists, whose understanding of physics bordered on the supernatural. Captain Heiwan Seo continued her humanitarian missions aboard the Gentle Breeze, delivering medical supplies and disaster relief throughout the galaxy. Her ship's manifest still listed agricultural equipment and emergency rations, but now everyone understood that those innocent cargo holds could deploy weapons that defied comprehension. "Another supply run to the Outer Rim colonies, Captain?" asked Navigator Do-Hyun Lee as they departed Earth's orbital facilities. "The Altarian settlements are dealing with a plague outbreak," Haiwan replied, checking their course. "Dr. Yunji has developed a treatment that should cure them completely, including genetic modifications to prevent future outbreaks?" asked cargo specialist Mi Young Park, noting the special handling requirements for their medical cargo. "Of course. We can't have our friends suffering from preventable diseases. The plague treatment would indeed cure the Altarians completely, rebuilding their immune systems to resist not just this disease but dozens of others. It would also quietly modify their genetics to make them completely immune to biological weapons, ensuring that no hostile power could use diseases against them in the future." Earth's gifts always came with hidden protections. In the Council Medical Center, Dr. Eunji Choi completed her rounds with the same gentle care she had always shown. Her patients still came from dozens of worlds, each receiving treatment that seemed miraculous to their less advanced understanding of biology. "Doctor, the new healing accelerators are working perfectly," reported her assistant, a young vegan whose admiration for human medicine bordered on worship. "Wonderful news," Eunji replied, updating patient charts with her characteristic thoroughness. The healing accelerators could regrow lost limbs in hours and cure genetic diseases that other civilizations considered incurable. They were also capable of creating targeted biological weapons so precise they could eliminate specific individuals while leaving everyone else completely unharmed. The galaxy's medical community had embraced human techniques with enthusiasm, never realizing that every innovation they adopted also gave Earth the ability to neutralize their entire species if necessary. Healing and harming used the same fundamental knowledge, applied in different directions. Cultural Coordinator Narai O organized art exhibitions and music festivals that drew visitors from across the galaxy. Human creativity had captured alien imaginations, inspiring new forms of artistic expression and cultural exchange. The beauty of human art was matched only by the subtle intelligence gathering that occurred at every cultural event. The Zentari delegation is particularly interested in our sculpture techniques. Narration reported to her assistant while reviewing attendance records for the latest exhibition. Should we arrange private workshops for their artists? Absolutely. Cultural exchange builds understanding between our peoples. The workshops would indeed teach Zentari artists new techniques for creating beautiful sculptures. They would also provide detailed information about Zentari society, government structure, and potential vulnerabilities. Every human cultural program served multiple purposes, building genuine friendships while gathering intelligence that could prove crucial in future crises. Communications Officer Tae-jin. Yu monitored galactic communications from his position aboard a human research vessel, studying stellar phenomena near the galactic core. His instruments detected radio signals, quantum transmissions, and exotic communication methods used by dozens of civilizations. Anything interesting in today's intercepts? Asked his supervisor, a linguistics expert who specialized in xenocommunication protocols. The usual diplomatic chatter, Tae-jin replied, reviewing the decoded messages. The Andorian Republic is considering new trade agreements with the Bellan Confederacy. The Rigelian Defense Force is conducting routine training exercises. Nothing urgent. The routine monitoring encompassed every significant communication in the galaxy. Earth's intelligence networks had grown so sophisticated that they could predict political crises before the governments involved knew they had problems. This advance warning allowed human diplomats to position themselves as helpful mediators, always arriving with perfect timing to offer peaceful solutions. Commander Wu Jin-han had returned to his meditation retreat on SciFiPrime, once again guiding stressed alien executives through relaxation techniques. His students had no idea that their peaceful instructor was actually one of the galaxy's most dangerous individuals, or that their meditation center was also a command post for Earth's Special Operations Forces. Feel your tensions dissolving, Wu Jin instructed in his calm voice while reviewing tactical updates on his meditation crystal. Let your mind achieve perfect clarity. His students achieved the inner peace they desperately needed, never suspecting that their instructor was simultaneously coordinating security operations across 17 star systems. The meditation techniques were genuine and effective, but they also served as excellent cover for activities that the galaxy preferred not to think about. Fleet Admiral Kyung-soo Lim maintained Earth's true military forces in the shadows of space, positioned throughout the galaxy but invisible to all sensors. His fleets existed in parallel dimensions, ready to emerge at a moment's notice if any threat to galactic peace ever materialized. Status report, Admiral? Asked his chief of staff during their weekly strategic briefing. All sectors remain peaceful, Kyung-soo replied, reviewing deployment schedules that covered forces capable of controlling entire galactic arms. The Klingon Empire is showing signs of internal instability, but nothing that threatens their neighbors. The Romulan Star Empire continues its isolationist policies. The Federation maintains its commitment to peaceful exploration. Should we position additional assets near potential trouble spots? No need. Our current deployment is sufficient to handle any conceivable threat. Besides, visible force projection would undermine the diplomatic efforts. The Admiral's forces remained hidden not because they feared detection, but because their very existence would terrify other civilizations into desperate actions. It was better to let the galaxy believe that Earth's military consisted of merchant ships with hidden weapons, rather than reveal the true scope of human military capability. In the council chamber, Jin-soo concluded the morning session with his usual grace and diplomacy. The day's agenda had covered trade disputes, territorial agreements, and resource allocation, all resolved through patient negotiation and mutual compromise. Thank you all for another productive session, Jin-soo said, beginning to pack away his tea service. I look forward to seeing everyone tomorrow. The delegates filed out with expressions of satisfaction and gratitude. Earth's representative had once again helped them find peaceful solutions to complex problems. His wisdom and gentle guidance had prevented several potential conflicts from escalating into violence. What they didn't realize was that Jin-soo's peaceful, Solutions were actually carefully calculated, compromises based on detailed intelligence about every party's true capabilities and intentions. Earth's diplomats achieved success not through naive optimism, but through superior information and precise manipulation of events. As the chamber emptied, Jinsu allowed himself a moment of quiet satisfaction. The galaxy prospered under Earth's hidden guidance, enjoying unprecedented peace and prosperity. Trade flourished, colonies expanded, and civilizations advanced their knowledge through cooperative research. The secret of humanity's success was simple. They had learned that the most effective way to control the galaxy was to make everyone grateful for their protection.